March has just begun and we already have two stellar video game releases that have many wondering where to drop their hard-earned cash. On one side we have Horizon Zero Dawn, a PS4 exclusive from Guerrilla Games that released on February 28 and is being touted as one of the best exclusives available on the console right now. On the other we have The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, a Nintendo exclusive that has received rave reviews from almost everyone who's touched it. But sometimes review scores aren't enough to make a decision. If they were, you'd just purchase Breath of the Wild and call it today. But there are other factors that come into play before some are willing to part with $60 for a game that they intend on pouring countless hours into. So let's dive into a few categories and see which game is right for you. Story and world. One of the factors that really make Horizon Zero Dawn and The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild stand apart are their worlds and the stories that inhabit them. Both are open-world experiences with plenty of side quests to dive into, but they handle things with a strikingly different tone. Horizon Zero Dawn drops players into a world 1,000 years after humanity's collapse at the hands of the very machines they built. You, as a member of a hunting tribe that is living well after civilization has fallen, are tasked with solving the mystery behind what has sent the machines into an uproar once more. You'll seek the truth in a deadly world full of viscous, machine animals, learning to survive in some seriously gorgeous environments. The story focuses on Aloy, who is first an outcast to her own people, but then their last hope. The tale covers some mature themes like prejudice and war, and you're dealing with humans when it comes to living enemies, rather than cartoon monsters. That can be important if you're looking for a game for a younger audience, or if you're just really squeamish about human-on-human crime. Breath of the Wild also has players exploring an open world many years after some sort of calamity. Ganon took over Hyrule Castle and the hero of time, Link, has been in a slumber for 100 years. With Link now awake and the towers around the world once again active, evil has reawakened and the world must be saved. The world is colorful and light, though still filled with harmful weather and some ferocious bad guys. The enemies you face are much more fantasy-based, so there's no blood or graphic scenes, unless you find sorta cute monsters disappearing in a puff of purple smoke graphic. While the game is serious in its challenge, its presentation is beautiful yet also more appropriate for a wider range of ages. Gameplay. Breath of the Wild vs Horizon Zero Dawn, which open-world game should you play? By Ishmael Romero, posted on March 3, 2017. 1 share. 3 of 5. Gameplay. Breath of the Wild vs Horizon Zero Dawn. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, E3. The gameplay for both Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild is similar in some regards. Both have you exploring an open world that provides complete freedom after a tutorial area, and both offer staples of the action genre. There's archery, melee combat, stealth, world traversal, puzzles, and exploration. You'll dance in and out of danger as you work to whittle down the health of whatever nemesis is before you, and you'll do so using a variety of tools at your disposal. However, their systems are different enough to where one will appeal to players more than another. Horizon Zero Dawn's gameplay feels more like hunting is at its very core. You'll need to strategize against enemies, scope out fields, set traps, and more to really manage fights. The game also has more RPG elements with its experience system and skill trees. Gear doesn't break, and you can craft ammunition and other necessary supplies on the fly, allowing a somewhat less rigid experience. It definitely puts everything into Aloy, its protagonist, making her the core of Horizon Zero Dawn in more ways than one. Also, robot animals and crazed demagogues aside, Horizon Zero Dawn tries to stay realistic. Breath of the Wild exists more on the fantasy side. Breath of the Wild definitely puts its world at the forefront. You'll need to utilize your surroundings and its features in order to make your way through the adventure, because not much can be done with just Link alone. Cooking is done at fires, ammo must be found or taken off of enemies, appropriate clothing must be located. Also, weapons will break, adding more of a management mechanic to the experience. You'll have to keep track of durability, ensure you have backups, constantly switch between gears you find newer, better things, and hope you're not out of necessities when you find yourself surrounded. Oh, and you have to manage your stamina through it all. How much micromanagement you like in your game, Zelda, and whether you rather just enjoy explosive action, Horizon, will make your decision for you. Platform. One factor that you can't overlook is platform. Many forget that these are each exclusive games, so if you don't have a PS4, you can't get Horizon Zero Dawn no matter how much you want it, unless you're going to shell out for a new console, and the same can be said for Breath of the Wild for those who don't have a Switch or a Wii, but for those who are aware and have access to all the consoles, there's also the matter of platform features that may sway you. If you're one of the types who jumps into open worlds just so you can blast your social media feeds with screenshots, videos, and GIFs, straight from your console, then Horizon Zero Dawn offers all of that thanks to the PS4. There's also the photo mode that lets you set up beautiful shots with different effects. And, if you're into trophies and things of that nature, PS4 offers full support for Horizon Zero Dawn. You can take screenshots in Breath of the Wild thanks to the Nintendo Switch's screenshot button, but sharing them isn't instant, and you can't take any video with only the console itself. There are also no achievements on the Switch nor the Wii U. It's not the end of the world, but for some people that matters, so it is something to consider if you're finding it tough to choose between the two. Also keep in mind that if you have a Switch, you'll be able to play Breath of the Wild on the go, though Vita Remote Play is possible for Horizon Zero Dawn, if not as smooth an experience. So which one should you buy? This is when it becomes time to weigh all the factors against one another and see which game checks more boxes on your list. If tone is important, then Horizon Zero Dawn's more serious narrative may be a deal breaker. If you're looking for a game for younger players, or if you yourself prefer things to be a bit more colorful, you may want to look elsewhere. Or perhaps Breath of the Wild is too kiddie for you and this flavor of fantasy isn't your thing, no matter how great the gameplay itself is, and you just want to rip into a giant, metal T-Rex. If you like a bit more depth to your gaming experience, they both offer different approaches, with Horizon Zero Dawn leaning more towards crafting and strategy with an RPG core, and Breath of the Wild leaning more towards survival and management. After weighing the pros and cons of each, you'll fall on the game that suits you best. If it's still tough to choose, and you have the funds, you could always pick up both. Of course, the matter of choosing which one to boot up first becomes an entirely different issue.
It's Friday. Thank God, little homie, it's Friday. Let me get it.